tune us out because wine's coming up soon. So just, you know, you can postpone thinking about Chardonnay for a little bit and just kind of give us a moment. But yeah, we're here to talk about a subject that's kind of frowned upon a lot in the affiliate space. It's incentive traffic. And so how many people here would not work with incentive traffic? Just a show of hands.
Okay,
one?
just one, two.
Two?
Not bad.
Okay, yeah, actually that was way better than I thought. Yeah. So yeah, so in terms of incentive, it's very much, it has a bad rap. And so we're here to kind of explain that there are ways to handle incentive traffic if you do it with a certain intent and you track the, certain metrics. And so, yes, we will jump into our featured guest here, Lauren. So Lauren, you're from Tapjoy, obviously. Can you explain what Tapjoy is for somebody new who has no idea?
Yeah, so Tapjoy, we are effectively a mobile monetization platform for apps to use. And a lot of those apps, vast majority of them are games. And I think if you just kind of think back in your memory, the last time you probably paid for an app that was a game was probably a very, very, very long time ago. They don't really charge anymore, but they do need to make money in some way. So how these apps can go about doing that is they can, they basically have opportunities for users in the game to make purchases and do things like that. So basically what Tapjoy does is we provide them with an opportunity for users to not have to just purchase everything outright. They can complete some kind of action in order to get that reward. So when you're in a game, there's what's called virtual currency. It varies from app to app. It might be gems, it might be diamonds, whatever it is, the user will be in the game and they'll need more of that to continue along. And they can either purchase those in some kind of bundle outright, so they can pay $10 and they'll get 100 of them or whatever, or the user will navigate themselves to our offer wall, where they'll be able to scroll through a whole bunch of different types of offers, ranging from CPC, which is just a really simple click out to a website, a CPA on a mobile web, which is make a purchase, or even any kind of lead gen, entering in your zip code, your email address, or you can download another app, or download another app and then complete an action, whether that's a purchase in there or reaching level 20 in that game or whatever you want to do. So there's a whole bunch of different opportunities for people to get the virtual currency that they need and continue along in the game. So we provide the apps with the opportunity to work with our offer wall so they can go ahead and monetize in that way.
Awesome. And so I think an offer wall is an interesting term because, as Michael said, I used to work for AdSense Media and we had an offer wall, and I'd always tell people, hey, do you guys know what an offer wall is? And everybody says, oh yeah, totally, I know what it is. But they actually don't. It's something that is kind of, seems like you would know it, but you kind of don't. And so, yeah, could you kind of go over what an offer wall is, just like a real breakdown?
Yeah. So the user will go, they'll see the offer wall in the game, and they'll see basically a logo of the brand and then, or the game, and then they'll see kind of a headline and then how much reward they're going to receive for whatever action it is. And they'll say, okay, cool, they'll be scrolling through, they'll see a brand that they really like, they'll click on it, they'll be taken to a page where they will see a little bit more about the brand. We can put a video in there, or there's, you can scroll through a few images, and then it'll give instructions on what you need to do. So say the offer is a CPA purchase. It'll say, this brand does XYZ. We have wines where you can purchase or something, just if it's a wine, advertiser. And then to get your reward, make a purchase of $35 or more. And then the user will click on that. They'll be taken out to the web page or the other app, depending on what kind of offer it is. They'll complete the offer, they'll navigate themselves back into the offer wall, and then they'll have been rewarded. So it's pretty much all in real time, and the point is that the user can continue with their actions in the game. Yeah.
For sure, and I think an interesting thing to consider on an offer wall is there's options for users. So they can say, you know what, I like to watch videos to earn coins, or I like to submit my email address to earn coins. They kind of earn how they want to earn, which takes it one step away from the normal type of offer in the incentive space.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different types of offers that they can complete, and everybody's on their phone, so it kind of ranges. It gives a different range of what they can do and can't do.
For sure. And so at Tapjoy, can you kind of go over your role and what you do?
Yeah, so I manage the strategic affiliate partnerships team. So what we do is we manage any of the affiliate network traffic that comes through. So we work as a publisher on all the major affiliate networks, the CJs, the Impacts, et cetera. And then my team also manages a lot of the traffic that comes from like third-party brokers and everything like that. So we get a lot of the lead gen traffic on my team, enter in your zip code, your email, or something like that. And then we have a little bit of a spattering of brand clients as well that for some reason have landed on our team.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. And so how did you get started with Tapjoy?
Yeah, I was looking for a new opportunity, and I had been working in the affiliate space for quite some time. I've worked for CJ Affiliate as well as another SaaS affiliate platform. And I was really excited to see the manager of strategic affiliate partnerships open because I also had some mobile experience at a company called Fiverr, which is a direct competitor of Tapjoy's as well with the offer wall, and I was working on all of that traffic as well. And I had known about Tapjoy just by working in these affiliate networks because they were a pretty strong publisher. And actually, it was kind of funny. I have a T-shirt from like 2014 from Tapjoy when they visited the CJ office. So I was familiar with them at that point. And it was a really strong brand name in the mobile space, and I was really excited about it.
Excellent, like some foreshadowing going on there.
Yeah, exactly. It was like in my future.
Yeah. The secret, so to speak. Excellent. And so in terms of your role, is there something that you're focused on this year or something you want to kind of knock out?
Yeah, last year we were really focused on quality and getting everything on the affiliate team really just buttoned up and making sure that users were having a really great experience when they were looking at the ads that were coming from my team. So that was a really big initiative. And this year, having gone through all of that, we have this kind of plethora of opportunities on the affiliate networks that my team can look at. So, our goals are to get as many of those really solid brands that we can onto the offer wall so that users can be excited to see, brands that they're familiar with already, and also new brands that they might not have tried out yet, that they can take that opportunity to do so.
Excellent. In terms of Tapjoy itself, and kind of before we dive into the whole general incent thing, Tapjoy itself, what's the most popular reason why an app would choose Tapjoy?
Yeah, we have just a very large network, I think, of really solid brands that we can use, or that we have partnerships with. I think that the apps really appreciate, and also we've gone through a lot of initiatives to really make sure that everything is tracking properly and the offers are really solid and there's no like drop off. Obviously, that's going to happen with any, incentive network or any kind of tracking. Nothing ever matches up 100% exactly. But I think we have a really strong backbone, I guess, of making sure that the offers are working properly, everything's tracking properly, people are getting rewarded, and if they don't, they have a really easy customer success, or the users have a customer service experience where they can rectify that if they haven't gotten their cash back, their rewards. Yeah.
Excellent. And speaking of that, so the main question of the evening, why do you think incentivized traffic is viewed negatively?
Yeah, I think, and it was kind of funny, they were just talking about the coupon traffic being viewed negatively, and I was like, oh, wait.
Wait, you hold my beer.
Exactly. I was like, if you want to level it, I think, incentivized traffic is a little bit looked down upon a little bit negatively as well. In general in the affiliate network. And I think it's because it feels very transactional to a lot of advertisers, because you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, you are making a purchase and then I'm just giving you cash back on top of maybe you're using a coupon or something like that. And I think there's a incorrect, assumption that people are just completing an offer, just to complete the offer.
And they're not going to stick around. They're not going to come back.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's not the case. Incentivized traffic does a really good job in rewarded traffic at bringing in new customers and, loyalty sites, which are considered, incentivized traffic, like the Rakutans and Mr. Rebates and all of those. Those are actually really good at retaining customers and bringing them in. You just have to kind of do it properly and make sure that you're, evaluating the traffic and make sure that it works for you.
Excellent. And so in terms of incentivize, what you guys do is technically known as rewarded traffic.
Yes,
and so could you maybe cover the difference between incentivized and rewarded?
Yeah, I think there's a whole variety of different types of traffic that can fall under that kind of bucket or umbrella, whatever you want to call it. I think with rewarded traffic, Tapjoy is a little bit different because we're not actually giving any kind of cash back or money back or anything like that. It's all in the form of virtual currency. So that's more of getting you're giving the user a reward. And then you also have the cashback websites in the affiliate space, which are a little bit different because they're giving, a percentage of what they're earning back. And I think both have their place, and both are a little bit different. I think specifically with rewarded traffic like Tapjoy, you get a little bit more of this positive feedback loop because a user they're in a game, they kind of need something to continue. So they can either, spend the money and buy the gems to continue, or they can complete an offer, like they'll get to try a new subscription, or they'll get to try like a new shampoo or a sweater.
So it's a positive association with it.
Exactly, yeah. And so they'll get that, and then in turn, they'll get their reward, and they'll get to keep playing the game, but they'll also, in a week, get something in the mail that they ordered, or, get to try this new service that they tried. So I think that's really powerful, and I think we'll start to see more of that kind of stuff in the future.
Excellent. And so in terms of if somebody was in the space and they wanted to work with rewarded, how would you recommend they evaluate it? Like what kind of metrics would you recommend?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is knowing what quality looks like to you. And I know that's not particularly like a hard KPI metric, but I think it's something that's really important. And obviously I can sit here and tell you, like you should be looking at ROAS, which you should be, obviously, and you want to find a commission or a payout that works for your brand. But I think the biggest thing that you need to look at when it comes to incentivized and rewarded traffic is the quality that you're getting, and if that makes sense for you. And I think the open communication with your account manager is really important because, I kind of can assume what quality means for you, especially if you have a subscription service, but I don't know if you're looking for somebody to just stay for a few months, and obviously you want them to stay as long as possible, but is success to you a 3-month subscription? Is success to you a 12-month subscription? Somebody staying on that long, and then in terms of like purchases, is one purchase a success and they're staying involved in emails and stuff like that, or do you want the user to come back 3 or 4 times? Is that considered quality to you? Kind of what that looks like. So I think having open conversations with your account manager and what that looks like, and then working with them to, tailor what your traffic is coming to makes sense. So, if you're seeing partners necessarily that are not driving that particular traffic, we can block them. We can adjust the bid if you feel like it might be a little bit too high or too low. There is such a thing, specifically with subscriptions, you can go a little bit too high. So I think just making sure that there's open conversations there, and I think quality is the biggest thing that you should be looking at when it comes to incentivized traffic and rewarded traffic.
That makes sense. And I think the communication is definitely key with any campaign. I think if you start out with affiliate, and you're excited, you want all these results to come in, you have to still kind of pump the brakes and wait to see what happens. And I think that's definitely important that you touched on that for sure.
Yeah, and I think also, it's something that you shouldn't be afraid to try if you've been kind of on the fence about it. A lot of partners, specifically, Tapjoy, we can cap your traffic if you want, do a test, and then you can come back and see how it's working. And most are pretty, flexible with the payout that you can provide with them. And specifically for us, I think, and a lot of partners, you want to go as high as you can with like rewarded and incentivized traffic, because a lot of times there is a lot of competition. And, specifically for brands that do have a lot of competition out there, somebody might see, oh, I'm going to get 4% here. But, this website also has this product, but I'm going to get 6%. So I think also just constantly evaluating, what others are doing. I think for loyalty in particular, competitor analysis are really powerful tools to use and really important to be doing on a regular basis, just to make sure that you are being the most competitive. And also, doing other kinds of marketing, or maybe not marketing is not the right word, but just exposure within those channels as well, to make sure that people are aware that you have a competitive cashback. Because if people are not really familiar with your brand, they're not really going to be searching for you, as it was said before in the coupon site as well. So.
Makes sense, and you kind of touched on what I want to cover next as far as optimizing for conversions. Mm-hmm. So this traffic is different. It's not like your standard non-incent traffic where it's coming in, it's straightforward. So in terms of optimizing for rewarded traffic, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I think what we usually recommend is starting on a kind of run of network, way. We don't usually typically recommend doing like specific targeting, just so you can see what's kind of been working. And I think just making sure that the volume that you're getting, like I said, works for you, works for the commission that you're giving us, and making sure that that's all kind of backing out on your side. And I think Patrick also had a really interesting talk earlier this morning that would be really helpful for anybody looking to run subscription products on incentivized traffic, is just making sure that everything you have is really buttoned up in terms of payment, in terms of getting those customers back, because we can see people sign up for products and then you want them to continue. So that's the main goal. So just in general, if you have any kind of subscription service, I would highly recommend making sure that all of your payment stuff and getting customers re-engaged is up to date.
Excellent. And so in terms of, we did a poll earlier and we asked how many people work with incentivized traffic or wouldn't work with it. We had 2, which I feel people are just being nice. I feel it's most of the people here. But yeah, so in terms of that, if you're approaching like an affiliate network that is against it, they say, I only do non-incent, I don't trust that stuff. Mm-hmm. What are the advantages of working with rewarded traffic that would kind of, flip the script on them, so to speak?
Yeah. I think it's about going where your customers are. Having worked in affiliate for a very long time, the loyalty and incentivized publishers haven't really gone anywhere. They're still there. Everybody's still using them. And I think it's really interesting you should, take a look at what their demographics are specifically. Like, for Tapjoy in particular, we have 1.5 billion monthly active users. So that's a lot of people, on their phones. We are, global. We can target pretty much any country, anywhere. And I think there's also, a bunch of people who are using the loyalty websites. I'm a Mr. Rebates girl when I want my cash back. So, it's where your customers are, and like the cat's kind of out of the bag with the loyalty sites. And even I've seen in the past few years, like Rakuten is doing commercials now to, get people to, when they're shopping, go to Rakuten and do cash back. So I think it's definitely worth a test. What I would say to those people is, there are so many people that you might not be getting in touch with that are using, incentivized networks that you are potentially missing out on. And so, give it a test. Let a few of them in, and evaluate how the traffic is looking, and go from there.
Do you think there's any verticals that do not work for rewarded traffic, like you stay far away from? Yeah,
I think it depends on what kind of rewarded traffic it is. I know that specifically for Tapjoy, we reward the user immediately. So in that sense, people are kind of in the middle of a game or doing something else on their phone. So we don't see a lot of like fancy jewelry doing really well, or like travel, because someone's not going to be in the middle of a game and like be like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy that flight to Dubai right now.
Yeah.
So I think it depends. Specifically for us, those kinds of things don't really work well. But I think for a lot of other rewarded traffic and incentivized traffic, really anything can work as long as you just evaluate it properly. And I think the beauty of rewarded traffic a lot of the times is that you can get people to sign up for an email list. You can get people to sign up for a rewards program. You can get people to click on your website. I usually recommend people wanting to do like a CPC campaign is definitely depending on the partner. But for a lot of brands, it's very easy to do like just a straight branding campaign for CPC, because you are paying for people to just visit your website, but it's the same as an impression ad, or a Google ad or something like that, or even a TV ad, but it's actually more measurable than a TV ad. So there we go.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it just kind of depends on your goal, what your goal of the campaign is. Like if you want people to see, I have a new game or I have a new product, I just want people to check it out, and I feel I'm confident it's going to be good, then and rewarded will work for you.
Yeah, and I think also if you are looking for scale and looking to just rapidly scale up, rewarded traffic is really great. But I also think it's a really good tool to use for, sustaining that traffic as well, getting new customers, because people, will be on the offer wall, and they'll kind of see a brand that they maybe have been familiar with, but haven't really made the jump to actually purchase from them. And if they're going to be getting something in return, it's a really great opportunity for them to just say, hey, I'm going to try this now.
Very similar to like retargeting, that sort of thing. You keep seeing the repetition, you're coming back, for sure.
Yeah. So it is very similar to that.
Excellent. And so where do you think that the future of rewarded traffic is heading?
Yeah, I think in general, I've noticed, so I've been in the affiliate space for about 10 years. I think the affiliate space works a little bit, it evolves a little bit slow, but also things tend to happen really quickly, if that makes sense. Like I think things tend to come in really fast, like toolbars. That was a really hot thing, and that was kind of like everybody
acai
was
berries and was it the golden days of that stuff.
And everybody was kind of like freaked out about toolbars for a minute, and so like I think there have been vast like waves in terms of like evaluating data and what to do with that in the affiliate channel, and being more sophisticated, and not just we're just going to run on every single one of these partners and not have it just go. But I think in terms of what you're seeing is you're still seeing kind of like the coupon sites dominating, the loyalty sites, the incentive sites, and I think with the onboarding of a lot of like influencers, that has gotten a lot different as well. I think that's probably like the newest thing that's happened. But I think what we're going to see with like rewarded and incentivized traffic is just different ways of people getting rewarded. Right now, I think there's a lot of virtual currency. There's a lot of offer walls, like you can get it in that way. And then there's also like kind of the traditional ones where you get a percentage of your purchase back. But I think just get new ways of getting some kind of reward will be probably the future. You're already seeing, and I bought us already a few years old, but you're getting that new. You put in your receipt and you'll get a reward that way. But I think potentially also like crypto could be something that's new. That was really hot, but it seems like I was hearing about NFTs every other day a few months ago, and I don't totally know what happened with those, but that could potentially be something that happens in the future where that kind of gets more sophisticated in that sense.
For sure. And so I guess the final question is, if people want to know more about Tapjoy, where could they go?
Yeah, they can come to me. You can talk to me today.
In the wine,
and I'll be having a glass of wine after this. Or you can visit the website. You can get in contact with myself. I'm more than happy to help. We have a bunch of different teams that we can run or connect you with, even if you're not running, on an affiliate network and you're a brand direct. Would love to talk to you because we have that team as well. Ronnie was supposed to be here to represent that side of the business, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So hi, Ronnie. But
is he watching? Oh, please,
I don't know if he's watching right now, but and I mean we have a lot of exciting things coming. In the pipeline, we have our, along with the offer wall, it's like a shopping tab in the offer wall where it gives users kind of like more real like mall experience. So it's less of the lead gen type stuff and more of like the purchase campaigns. So where you would, buy that new shampoo or sweater or something like that. And we have that being able to be like searchable so people can be more intent with their purchases rather than impulsive on what they're looking for. So. And
that's a big key with some of the coupons as well. Like if there's an intent, like I'm going here, I'm discovering something versus like I'm just randomly doing something to get something. Like the intent is a big deal. Yeah, and I think the intent is huge. And I think that could be something also we'll see in a lot more of incentivized traffic, like in the future, is just having it be able to have customers be more intentional in their purchases, because if I have a dog and I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to like purchase something for the dog, rather than having to scroll through, I can just search for it and have it be purchased that way. It makes it a lot easier. Sounds good. So I guess we'll open this up to questions. If anybody has any questions, I assume we'll get at least 5 to 10, maybe more. How many? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we got one. Excellent. We have the mic or no mic? It doesn't matter. The mic person might have left, I think. I have a loud voice. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
Project. I can repeat your question as well. Yeah.
They might have headed out early to get wine, which is reasonable. I would do that.
First of all, I want to say we use Tapjoy very successfully, so yes,
very nice.
It can absolutely work. There's a lot of value there and a lot of eyeballs. But question for you, are there some products or price points for incentivized traffic that you would just say like it doesn't work, it's not worth looking at? Or alternatively, what would you say verticals that you would really believe in, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think it varies for what kind of incentivized traffic it is. Specifically for Tapjoy, because we kind of have a unique one where it's people are doing something else sort of in a game. We usually recommend AOVs of like $150 or less, and I also think it can go higher, but people sometimes at a higher price point struggle with having a high enough commission in order for it to be competitive on our offer wall. The offer wall is kind of based on an algorithm that takes into account the commission that's being given. We call it a bid, and also the conversion rate. So that kind of has to be high enough and working together enough for the offer to be seen. Otherwise, it kind of will get buried. And I think with other incentivized traffic, it depends, because a lot of times when people are purchasing like higher end items, they might be looking for a coupon, but also the last thing on their mind is kind of like, okay, how much am I going to get in percentage back for this? And I think a lot of those items are also capped, like a lot of flights and stuff, where you get like $1, which in my opinion, I'm kind of like, is it even worth going through at that point, because I want to buy it directly with the airline, so I don't have any problems. But so I think it just depends. And I think, everything is worth a test, in my opinion, to see if you can do it. But you have to kind of make sure that you have the right commission balance and everything like that. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I don't know if we should do this. We should not allow this. I don't think we should. I don't think this should be.
As Tony would say, this is Kurt from Everflow again.
Oh, yeah, you have to announce yourself. Just keep doing it. It's fun. Yeah.
So I actually have the flip side of that question. Is there like a minimum dollar amount? Well, the reverse, right? Like, what is the lowest price point that you would recommend for any sort of incentivized traffic? For physical products, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, I think what my team a lot of times, and I don't want to call it struggles with, but just like when we're talking to advertisers, they have such a wide range of products on their website. And so with Tapjoy specifically, we really prefer to have a flat commission amount, because so $5 per sale versus 5% of sale, because the user sees upfront how much they're going to get. So that can be hard for a lot of advertisers, because they might have some products that are like $5 and then they have products that are $100. So it's kind of like, how do we figure out what the commission should be in that case? But I don't think that there's any like low amount. We see, free trials do really well. And I think at that point, it's figuring out like what the sweet spot is between getting a user who is intentional, in wanting to do the free trial, or just trying to do it to get a reward. So I think there's a little bit of a balance there in terms of finding that right commission. And I think for a lot of other loyalty programs, it's the same. It's just trying to figure out what that best commission is usually, and it usually is based off of your AOV and what you're looking for in terms of quality as well. Mm-hmm.
They turned it off, yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
There we go. Hey guys, my name's Shane. I'm with Annika, and we built an entire division of our agency just on buying rewarded traffic. You really hit the nail on the head with understanding how we can meet their KPIs, walking through the right process of the funnel, and I think you guys undersold incentive quite a bit. So I'd love to hear about some success stories that you guys are seeing on the Tapjoy side.
We'd like to hear that.
That's in this room.
Yeah. That's our audience.
Is this a pitch for you too?
Yeah. Yeah, so some success stories. We see a lot of success in products that people will use. So we see a lot of success with subscription products, like pet products. There's a ton of those out there, like the food subscription products. Those work really well. And also any kind of like free trial will do really well as well. So like subscription services do really awesome that are not necessarily something that you're going to get on a regular basis. Health and beauty does really well. And I think it's because of the nature of the products, right? So people, are kind of, they're products that everybody needs on a regular basis. So, we see that a lot of times, and it's something that you'll purchase and like make you feel good about it when you get it in the mail and everything. So I think we see a lot of success with those kinds of products, as well as general like clothing items as well, and products that are looking for new customers. We drive a lot of new customers for people, and just I think that's one of the beauties of the incentivized, and rewarded traffic platforms is that you do get a lot of new customers because people are willing to try new products in return for getting something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my name's Ryan. I work with DFO. We work with a lot of advertisers that say that incentivized traffic is prohibited, right? They don't want it at all. What kind of advice or recommendation do you give to an advertiser who is worried about the retention on incentivized traffic? Is there anything that you guys offer as a, maybe a service or just even, any kind of recommendations to them to help with that?
Yeah, and feel free to hop in.
Oh no, I mean this is your
okay.
this is basically your company. I'm just like
yeah.
a past expert sort of. So yeah, it's all good.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, we can definitely send over some case studies of successful campaigns that have been done, and I think also, like I said before, encourage them to do a test. I mean, every advertiser, has test budget for something. So I think putting it towards that, and we can, of course, speak a little bit more if you want about like the value of what we can bring in terms of traffic, scale, and new customers. I think just for loyalty in general. And I think that's the biggest thing is having an open conversation with them, and also bringing some specific metrics as well as convincing them to do a test. They don't have to give any loyalty partner like $100,000 off the bat. You can start with a small budget and go from there and scale up.
Actually, I work for an apparel brand. Mm-hmm. So actually, my question is, my brand actually offers a 90 days money-back guarantee. So when you say you pay the customer immediately, yeah. So what if someone like refund the product, like return the product? Like how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so we do ask the advertisers. We typically don't process returns or corrections. So we recommend that the advertisers take that amount into what they're willing to put as the commission or bid payout, whatever you want to call it, to us, and kind of bake that in. So if you're naturally seeing 10% returns, you can add that into what you're going to be providing us, and monitor and adjust as needed. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So many questions.
Excellent. Yeah, this is good. It started out kind of slow, but then it picked up. Yeah, it was a bit. All right, excellent.
Hi there. This is going off of Ryan's question back there. So I'm a campaign. What's that? I'm a campaign manager. I would be the one telling Ryan that he can't have incentivized traffic, and the reason being is that what I've seen and what my clients are experiencing is that they'll have a conversion, and then the person, your customer, will call in immediately and cancel and say, "Well, I was just there for the reward." Yeah. So they're canceling the product, and then that's a $90 CPA that they're paying for you for nothing. So do you have anything in place to safeguard the advertisers so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do ask the advertisers to be transparent with us if that does happen, and usually we can look into maybe the traffic source that is causing that problem, and we can block it and take that route. But we do have other, like fraud protection stuff in general. Sometimes there are bad actors that do take advantage, but we have a robust fraud prevention, I don't know what exactly to call it, team or processes in place that try to block out any kind of negative traffic, and we do take that very seriously. So in that sense, we would try to figure out where that was coming from and block that particular.
And that's where
traffic.
The communication comes in.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's we as account managers really need to get that from the advertiser. So if you do see that, it's really important that we're told immediately and stuff, so we can stop it at the source.
Cool. Anyone? Any other questions? All right. Important announcement about the wine event coming up. You're only allowed 15 glasses of wine, so that's it. 15. You can't do like 16. I know last time it was 16. You can't do that. 15 maximum. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.